Sports Extra. The top-ranked Carolina women's lacrosse team left third-ranked Maryland heading home shell-shocked.
The men's lacrosse team took down Johns Hopkins thanks to some magic from one of its stars.
And the women's tennis team took down two Florida teams to continue its dominance. All that and so much more. Sports Extra starts
right now.
From the University of North Carolina School of Media and Journalism, covering the full range of Tar Heel athletics. This is Sports Extra.
We all know about the rivalry with Duke, those hated Blue Devils, but in some sports, Carolina's biggest rival is Maryland. Welcome to Sports Extra. I'm Caroline Boyer.
And I'm Brian Gallagher. Such is the case with women's lacrosse. The two storied programs met on Saturday in Chapel Hill, with both of them ranked top 5 nationally. The Tar Heels put a historic beatdown on the Terrapins and established themselves as the team to beat this year in the hunt for the NCAA title. It didn't take long for the Heels to get in the game as Jamie Ortega scores the first of her 4 goals. Here, Scotty Rose Groening collects her own rebound off the free position shot and puts it in the back of the net. Groening was the star for the game for UNC as she scored 6 goals on the Maryland defense, setting new career highs for goals and points. Senior attacker Katie Hogue also notched 4 goals and an assist, helping lead the Tar Heels to a dominating 19-6 win over the rival Maryland Terrapins.
Defensively, the unit is going to be as good as they work together. So we've got a lot of talent down there, and they trust each other, and they work hard, and I like the chemistry of the group.
I think it's the best defense in the country or on any team. I love watching them. They're so hardworking. They're scrappy. They're physical. Like, they are just so smart as players.
I mean, it's kind of an unreal feeling. I mean, I just had like the best time of my life out there, to be honest, and I think that was the whole game. We were just playing with passion.
Jamie and Katie are amazing, and I think we've been really working on developing our chemistry together as like a 3 unit, and you know, whoever else is on the field.
Let's go to lacrosse analyst Aaron Jenkins live in studio. Aaron, I don't think anyone expected to see the barrage of Carolina goals against an equality opponent, especially in the second half.
You're right, Brian. The Heels outscored Maryland 12-2 in the second half. This is one team Carolina fans should be on the lookout for. These Tar Heels are fun to watch, and especially were this weekend when they absolutely dominated rival Maryland. The 19-6 win was a complete team effort with 7 different Tar Heels scoring goals. Scotty Rose Groening had the best game in her career, scoring on 6 of her 12 shots, including this quick, beautiful shot after an assist from Jamie Ortega. No Tar Heel has scored 6 goals against the Terrapins since the 1999 overtime loss. The defense was also a crucial part to this win. The D was a brick wall for Carolina. Number 4 ranked Maryland was able to score only 2 goals in the second half. Taylor Moreno held down the net with 6 crucial saves to keep Carolina on top, following up on her Defensive Player of the Week honors from last week. After the Tar Heels lost in overtime to the Terrapins last year, they were hungry for revenge and achieved that as they scored the most goals on Maryland in the history of the rivalry. One of UNC's strong points this season is being able to score fast and efficient goals. The 7th goal in this game is a good example. It took just 15 seconds for the ball to go from one end of the field to the other. This goal we have here by Scotty Rose Groening is a perfect example of how Carolina turns strong defense into offense. Let's take a look here. Here we see Maryland taking a free position shot. Taylor Moreno goes to her knees to make the beautiful save. There's a scoop made and the ball is being passed downfield until it makes its way into Katie Woodruff's stick here. Woodruff only has an open field to beat when she sees Jamie Ortega at the top of the circle. Ortega gets the ball and sees Groening cutting here. Groening fires into the net for a Carolina goal. This play here only took 5 passes and 15 seconds to go from one end of the field to the other. We also have another goal scored by Katie Hogue and assisted by Jamie Ortega here. These two have connected on average almost 3 times per game. Here we see Ortega taking the ball and driving to the net. Ortega can't because she's surrounded by defenders when she finds Hogue in the middle, and Hogue fires into the upper right-hand corner behind the helpless goalkeeper. These 2 plays are beautiful goals to help the Heels get the big win. Now Carolina will have to get back to work to focus on the tough ACC schedule coming up. The Heels will travel to Virginia to start conference play on Saturday. The number 8 ranked Cavaliers have compiled a perfect record of 4-0 so far this season, but 3 of those games have been decided by 2 goals or less. Defense and offense will have to be in full force for the Heels to stop the Hoos. I'm excited to see what these Tar Heels can do this season with their attack trio of Ortega, Hogue, and Growney. It's a way too early prediction, but this Carolina team showed a lot of promise Saturday, and I see these Heels with a great chance of bringing home another natty to Chapel Hill. Back to you guys.
The women's lacrosse team wasn't the only team to take on a top opponent. The men had to do the same, traveling to Baltimore to take on number 17 ranked Johns Hopkins. Johns Hopkins opened the scoring to make it 1-0 inside 2 minutes. Chris Gray quickly countered after spinning around his opponent to tie the game 1-1. He finished off his first quarter hat trick with this beauty, making the score 5-3. Carolina showed its depth with this pass into Tanner Cook, who slots it under the keeper. Gray ran the show with an astounding 8 goals, including this finish in the final seconds. The Heels win 17-10 and return to action Sunday at Denver. In studio, we have the star of this weekend's match, Chris Gray, with our Kirsten Clark. Kirsten?
Caroline, for a player to score a hat trick in a match is a pretty good outing. Chris Gray very nearly had a hat trick ×3 with 8 goals against Johns Hopkins. Chris, what did you eat for breakfast that morning?
That's a good question. I don't really remember, but it was a great team win, and it was great to get out there and get a great win against the a good Johns Hopkins team.
Oh yeah, well whatever it was, it worked. So we have a couple plays here on the big screen for you to just kind of tell us what was going on and what was going through your head. So for this first one, you scored a goal. Yeah, what happened here?
Yeah, I mean, Nicky, he was dodging behind, and he threw a beautiful skip pass to me. And I kind of noticed that the shot clock was pretty low. There was only 2 seconds left, so I had to be quick and get to the net, and Nicky found me on a great skip, and I just capitalized off of it and, fortunately found the back of the net.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm pretty sure that was your first of 8 that night. So for the next one, we have another one here that you can explain.
Yeah, we were on the man up here. Alex did a great job dragging his guy down, which kind of occupied number 16, so that freed me up and allowed me to have my hands free and get a great shot off. So that was a great play by Alex.
Oh yeah, followed by a nice little victory hug right there. And then we have one more that you can describe.
Yep, Will and Alex played a little 2-man game up top, which got Alex's hands free, and he was able to draw my defenseman, so I kind of cut back door, and Alex found me with a beautiful skip. So, once again, all credit to him. That was a great play by him.
Oh yeah, all 3 of those great shots. So I know this is your first year here, you're transferred from Boston, but you guys are having a great season so far. You're 4-0. In your 2018 season, you guys started out 6-0, moved to 7-7, didn't really make the tournament. What can we expect for the rest of this season?
I think kind of just for us, it's going each week and just trying to get better no matter who we're playing. That's kind of what the coaches stress throughout the locker room, is that each week we're worrying about ourselves and just being the best we can be. So moving forward, I guess just a lot more hard work and a lot more practice.
Of course, maybe a natty?
Hopefully, that's the end goal. But like I said, 1 week at a time for us, and hopefully we get there.
Well, great job this weekend, and best of luck in the rest of your season.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Back to you guys.
On Saturday, Roy's boys took on the 11th-ranked Louisville Cardinals, looking for a miracle in the midst of a disappointing season. Grad transfer Christian Keeling was the first to put points on the board after burying this wide-open 3 in the corner. He finished the game with 9 points. Cole Anthony was the leading scorer for the Heels with 18 points, just powering his way through the lane and finishing strong with the contact from the Cardinal defense. In the second half, we get a little backdoor action from Andrew Platek as the Heels try to fight their way back into the game. In the final minutes of the game, Carolina pushed to close the gap, but fell to the Cardinals 72-55. The Heels have only one way to make it to the NCAA tournament, and the chances are slim. They have to win the ACC tournament, and the experts give the Tar Heels 0.6% chance to do that.
The women's basketball team had lost 4 in a row going into Sunday's game at Wake Forest, and at the end of the game took a play out of the men's playbook. Not a good idea. The Heels fell behind quickly, trailing by 10 at the end of the first quarter. They worked to close that margin with buckets like this one from Medina Muhammad, and going into the half were down 31-27. The Heels shot a lowly 40% from the field and didn't make a three until the fourth quarter. With 3.1 seconds left in regulation, Tar Heel fans experienced the feeling they felt too many times this season. Leading by 3, Carolina doesn't foul, and Gina Conti banks in the 3 to tie the game at 68. Taylor Coonan tried to respond but missed the 3 to send the game into overtime. With just seconds left in overtime, Muhammad steals the ball and makes the layup, but it isn't enough. The Deacons take the win 82-79.
Come on, ref. That wasn't a charge. It was a blocking foul. Oh, sorry, I got carried away there. When it comes to intramural sports, the officials are often your classmate, so maybe take it easy on them. On average, 2 out of 3 undergraduate students participate in intramural sports during their time at UNC, and basketball is one of the most popular sports for Carolina undergrads. Playing intramurals is really a great way to engage in some physical activity and competition. But who makes the games run so well? The ones blowing the whistle. All the intramural referees are students themselves. Each one has to go through 4 days of training and scrimmages before taking on intramural games.
They just kind of vary in how they treat us, but I would say for the most part people are respectful. There's a lot of tension, and so sometimes things can pick up and we can get yelled at.
Students are indeed respectful, but not all the time. Quite often students lash out towards the referees, making their job a little more stressful.
In the beginning I definitely questioned my ability to be a ref, just because in the beginning reffed a lot of men's games that got kind of intense, but through reffing more games I got more experience and gained my confidence.
This backbone of campus recreation keeps the peace and makes it possible for intramural games to take place and to be carried out in such an orderly fashion. Players need to realize that the referees are their peers.
Take it easy on us, like we're students too. I may walk past you in the quad, and if you cuss me out the night before, it's kind of awkward for both of us. But definitely kind of give us some leeway because we are students as well, and we're calling to the best of our ability.
So before your next intramural game, make sure to thank your referees, whether you think they made a good call or a bad call. Okay, I promise to calm down a little bit when I'm back on the court, but just only a little bit.
The Diamond Heels had been scoring runs in bunches until Dallas Baptist came to town. Dallas Baptist?
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Dallas Baptist is a Christian liberal arts university. Total enrollment about 4,400 students. The baseball team from such a small school should have been an easy mark for the homestanding Heels, right? Wrong. In game 1, Aaron Sabato gets the Heels on the board in the first with a laser off the left field wall to drive in leadoff batter Dylan Harris. Angel Zarate continued his tear at the plate, going 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs, plating 2 Tar Heel runners with this hit. Nick Pry closed the game out for the Heels, forcing a pop fly to shallow left field to complete the shutout of the Patriots. Heels win 9-0. Game 2, first inning. Angel Zarate singles to center field and Danny Soretti scores. Heels lead 1-0. In the third inning, Dan Pruitt hits a deep shot to left field. That homer ties the game at 1. In the bottom of the third, Dylan Harris puts the Tar Heels back in the lead with a home run to right field to make the score 2-1. DBU responded quickly as Ryan Robaleski hits a deep home run that hits off of the pole in left field. In the bottom of the 7th, Will Stort hits a home run to try to help the Heels come back, but they fall 6-3. In the third match up on Sunday, Dallas Baptist opened with 2 runs in the first inning. For the rest of the game, there was a total of 28 strikeouts. It wasn't until the top of the 9th that the Patriots closed with a home run by junior Blaine Jones. The Heels lose 3-0 and manage only 2 hits. Junior Joey Lancelotti says the players must keep their heads up after losing the series.
A game where you could really just, you don't have a week to kind of dwell on your loss. You get one off day and you go back right into the next game, so you can't just have your head down and pout about it. You got to wake up tomorrow and deal with the loss and get ready for the next one.
To open the season, the softball team beat second-ranked Alabama and played top 10 FSU close, but things were a little rocky now following a weekend tournament in Greensboro. Game 1 saw the Heels fall to the Purdue Boilermakers 1-0. Hannah George allowed just 1 run in 6 innings with 1 strikeout in the game. In Game 2, the Heels fell 11-2 to Fairfield. UNC took a 2-1 advantage in the second inning, but couldn't hold on as Fairview stormed back. In Game 3 versus UNC Greensboro on Sunday, UNC got off to a great start, leading 3-1 in the first inning. Campbell Hutchinson had 4 RBIs and a home run. However, the Heels lost 8-5 to the Spartans. The Heels finished the weekend 0-3 and dropped to 6-9 overall.
With snow on the ground in Chapel Hill, the women's tennis team headed to Florida for some sunshine and some smackdowns. The team kicked off the weekend with a nail-biting victory against second-ranked Florida State, winning 4-3. Freshman Elizabeth Scotty clinched the match with a third-set victory at number 3 singles. On Sunday, the Heels traveled to Coral Gables to take on the Miami Hurricanes. Senior Alexa Graham took down the top-ranked player in the country, while senior Allie Sanford clinched the team's 6-1 win. The Heels are now 14-0 and host ACC rivals Virginia and Virginia Tech this weekend. Senior Alexa Graham picked up her 128th win against Miami on Sunday afternoon. The victory against the nation's top-ranked player put Graham alone in third in program history for overall wins. Haley Carter currently tops the list with 163 career wins. Graham's great performance in singles play in the ITA Indoor National Championship match a few weeks ago helped the team clinch its 4th national indoor title. Graham has now been a member of 2 teams at UNC to win the ITA Indoor Championship. The Heels also won in 2018.
UNC Gymnastics dominated Friday as the Heels traveled up to New Hampshire. The Heels took first place in each of the 4 events, starting off with senior Grace Donahue coming first in the uneven bar. Senior Kaja Hislop had a very successful day, taking first not only on the vault event, but also tying for first on the floor. On the balance beam, freshman Elizabeth Colton had a personal best performance, gaining another first place title for the Heels. UNC came away with the meet with a huge win against New Hampshire and will be back in Carmichael to go up against George Washington University on Friday.
Former UNC star Kobe White made Tar Heel fans nostalgic Saturday night with an insane performance against the Suns. Late in the second quarter, Zach LaVine found White in the corner for 3. Moving ahead to the third quarter, it's Kobe hitting the step-back 3 to cut the Suns' lead. Here he is again hitting the 3 off the screen at the top of the key to tie the game. And in the fourth, he beats his defender, and his 3 is butter. With 9 minutes to play, Kobe's teammate found him on the swing pass to bury the 3. White finishes with 7 threes made and a career-high 33 points. Not enough, though, for a Bulls win.
UNC Wrestling kicked off its weekend by traveling to Charlottesville Friday night for its final ACC match of the season against UVA. The Heels started strong with sophomore Zach Sherman taking 11-3 win in a major decision, giving UNC bonus points and the lead. Number 3 ranked Austin O'Connor furthered that lead, pinning Denton Spencer in the second period, allowing the Heels to go ahead 10-0. With Virginia leading by 2 with 1 match to go, sophomore Jamie Hernandez won an 8-5 decision, securing the victory for UNC 19-18 on UVA's home mats. The Heels didn't fare well in a home meet against the 5th-ranked Arizona State on Sunday afternoon. Austin O'Connor was one of the bright spots, reeling in 3 team points with a decision at 149. Kennedy Monday usually shines, but not this time, failing to score a single point in his loss. Carolina falls to the Sun Devils 9-22 in their final dual meet of the year. In studio, we have Mary Kay Aponitis, who is with wrestling phenom Austin O'Connor, also known as AOC, to discuss his performance this weekend. Mary Kay, does Austin ever get mistaken for a Congresswoman of New York?
Brian, I don't think there's much chance of a mistaken identity with this AOC and this one. You pinned your opponent against UVA in this past meet, and it was a huge win for the Heels. Without those 6 points, the Who's would have taken the victory. Can you talk to me some about what that meant for you and your team?
Yeah, I'm always looking for bonus points for our team. I know they could come in handy. Just looking back, I mean, I capitalized on a position he made a mistake in, and I was able to get it done and get the bonus points.
And that's great. We're going to look a little bit closer at that play right up here on the screen. Could you just talk me through what was going on here and what you were thinking?
Yeah, so I knew he rode legs a little bit, and I was kind of watching for it to come in. And as soon as he threw it in, I kind of sat back on my heels, caught his leg, was able to get it out, felt him shift off to the side a little bit, and I was able to create some space and look for the fall.
And that was huge for this. You are the 3rd ranked wrestler in your weight class. What is it going to take for you to get a title in your 2nd national championship?
I just got to continue working how I'm working. I don't think there's nobody in the country I can't beat this year. So, I mean, if everything keeps going the way it has been, I should do just fine.
Well, we can't wait to see it, Austin. Thank you so much for coming in with us today. Back to you guys.
Coming up, one UNC runner is planning out the biggest run of her life in the granddaddy of all marathons.
This is the story of a boy who didn't talk for a long time. The boy liked things to always be the same. Any changes would scare and upset him. The unknown was an unfriendly place. The boy was very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where they couldn't get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. He wasn't trying to be mean, it just made him feel uncomfortable. Sometimes he would flap his arms again and again.
One day, I found out I have something called autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I found my voice and learned all the ways I could live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
The men's and women's swim and dive teams were in Greensboro this weekend for the ACC Championships. The women had some good results during the 4-day tournament. Sophomore Emily Grunn took home 5th in diving. Carolina Howder won 4th in the 100 freestyle, and the women's 400 freestyle team placed 4th. The women ended the tournament in 4th place overall. The men's diving team ended its competition in 3rd place. Those points get added to the swimming results. That competition is scheduled for later this week.
The UNC men's and women's fencing teams were also competing for conference titles in Indiana. The UNC women finished a strong 2nd. Carlexa Fevry and Sophia Mandor both placed in the top 10 in foil, taking home 9th and 7th respectively. Carla Sumphilian placed 9th in saber, and the men's team took home 3rd place in the team division. Joseph Taylor tied 5th place in the men's épée event, while Benny Rabowitz took home 7th place in the men's foil division.
The track and field team traveled to Winston-Salem to compete in the JDL Invitational this weekend. The Tar Heels took 1st and 2nd in the men's 400 meters, with senior Ari Cogdale winning with a season best time of 48.78. Junior Jaden Johnson was 2nd. The ACC Indoor Championships start Thursday at Notre Dame. Senior Bridget Sullivan is starting to become a little sentimental because her final cross-country season has come to an end. But her running career isn't over. She's training for the Boston Marathon. Mary Lloyd Calicut walks us through her time on the team and how she's preparing for the big challenge.
Bridget Sullivan has been on the club cross-country team all 4 years here at UNC, and her running career began way before her journey at Carolina.
I started running when I was a sophomore in high school. Before that I did soccer for 10 years, so it was kind of like natural progression a little bit.
Ever since then, she has made running a hobby and something to look forward to in the midst of college stress.
I'd say my favorite part is probably just going to club, like practice every day, just catching up with friends and getting a run in, obviously.
Nationals have helped prepare her for the Boston Marathon, and she has a defined plan to follow.
I'm using the Boston Athletic Association training plan. So it includes probably like 1 or 2 workouts a week and then a long run. So I think that's helped me a lot, and just making sure that I'm getting workouts in along with my easy runs.
This resource, along with the motivation from friends and peers on the club cross-country team, has led her to this point.
When I was a freshman, there was juniors and seniors that were running marathons, and I didn't really think that I was going to run a marathon when I was in college, but just seeing them qualify for Boston and then do Boston was really inspiring to me. One of my friends, Allie, did it, and just like hearing everything that she did in like preparation, that was a really good story and just like really motivated me. And then it also helps because there's a lot of other girls on the team that are running marathons right now too. So just knowing like or hearing about their training and makes me want to, train just as hard as them.
Sullivan is very appreciative of everything the club cross-country team has done for her and cannot wait to give it her all in Boston. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mary Lloyd Calicut reporting.
Caroline, I have some great news for you. The Heels have 0.6% chance to win the ACC tournament men's basketball team. So what does that mean?
There's a chance.
There's still a chance, people. Don't
give up hope yet.
Don't give up. That's all we have for this edition of Sports Extra.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.